mom.
The revolutionary group French 75 carries out bold attacks against the system, including sabotaging banks, the power grid, and government buildings. While its members evade a colonel obsessed with capturing them, they face internal betrayals, strategic alliances, and the constant threat of arrest or death amid explosions, coordinated operations, and pursuits. All this unfolds as they try to protect their loved ones and keep their movement, running under extreme pressure. At the Otay Mesa Detention Center in the United States, a woman named Perfidia watches intently as Mexican immigrants are held behind bars. Her gaze reflects both indignation and determination as she imagines plans that could change their lives. Simultaneously, on the US-Mexico border, the militant far-left activist group known as French 75 meticulously prepares to execute a daring assault on the detention center with the aim of freeing the captive immigrants. They are soon joined by Pat Calhoun, Perfidia's partner, who informs them he has access to explosives, mortars, and tear gas. Though he doesn't know the exact details of the plan, Perfidia reassures him, saying it's just a sound and light show, a vague but convincing enough phrase for Pat and the others to accept their roles. That night, the group infiltrates the center. As they guide the immigrants to freedom, Perfidia confronts the center's commander, Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw, reproaching him for his failures. In a calculated act of humiliation, she handcuffs him and locks him up with other soldiers. Humiliated and furious, Lockjaw promises they will meet again, sparking a dangerous obsession with Perfidia. During the retreat, Pat sets off remote explosives and throws tear gas at the restrained soldiers. In the getaway vehicle, Pat and Perfidia share an intense kiss, fueled by adrenaline and passion. Time passes and French 75 escalates its offensive. Pat teaches Perfidia how to make a taser a crucial skill for future attacks. Their relationship strengthens, blending passion with the complicity of insurgency. The group executes coordinated attacks on banks and the power grid, sowing chaos. During one of these raids, Lockjaw observes from afar, developing a dangerous fascination with Perfidia that mixes with his obsession to capture her. The next target is the courthouse and a key city administrative building. The bombs, armed by Pat, are set to detonate simultaneously. However, after planting the explosives, Perfidia is cornered by Lockjaw. The colonel proposes a disturbing deal. He'll let her go in exchange for sexual relations. Under pressure and in a psychological power game, Perfidia partially yields, initiating a complex relationship laden with tension, manipulation, and mutual desire, a turning point she keeps secret from Pat. Soon after, Perfidia discovers she is pregnant. This does not stop her revolutionary activity. She continues leading operations, now carrying an additional secret. The birth of their daughter, Charlene, intensifies tensions with Pat, who begins questioning their path, worried about the risks of clandestine life. Perfidia feels emotionally displaced as Pat devotes most of his attention to the baby. One night, Pat discovers Perfidia trying to sneak out to continue her revolutionary plans. He pleads for a stable family life, but she insists on deepening her commitment to the cause, leaving Pat and their daughter behind. Now a single father, Pat assumes full responsibility for Charlene, living under constant surveillance. On an outing for supplies, he unexpectedly encounters Lockjaw, who strikes up a casual conversation about the child. Stunned, Pat realizes he's speaking with the colonel and understands their lives are still in grave danger. Meanwhile, Perfidia and French 75 execute a bank robbery. The plan spirals out of control when Perfidia, losing her composure, kills a security guard. Although they temporarily escape, a police pursuit is inevitable, and several members, including Perfidia, are arrested. Lockjaw intervenes, offering her a deal: freedom in exchange for information on French 75. With no viable alternative, Perfidia accepts, beginning cautious collaboration with the authorities. Somerville, a trusted member, provides new identities for escape. Pat manages to flee with Charlene, now called Willa, and they begin living underground under the names Bob and Willa Ferguson, trying to rebuild their lives far from the government. Perfidia enters a witness protection program, facing a monotonous life far from the revolution. Meanwhile, Lockjaw, relentless, begins hunting Perfidia's former comrades, arresting many and fragmenting the movement. Years later, Lockjaw is awarded a Medal of Honor for dismantling French 75. Driven by obsession, he visits the house where Perfidia is supposedly staying but finds only traces of her escape to Mexico, deepening his frustration. 16 years later, Willa, now a teenager, practices karate under her teacher Sergio, who also acts as a community leader. Bob, under his new identity, tries to rebuild his life, but the pressure has led him to drug addiction and constant paranoia. Lockjaw has risen in the military ranks and is summoned to join the Christmas Adventurers Club, a secret society of white supremacists. To prove his loyalty, he lies about not having interracial relationships and decides to locate Willa to hide any compromising links. His forces locate and capture Somervilla, who, under pressure, reveals information about Charlene, Willa. Under the pretext of an immigration operation, Lockjaw deploys troops to back to Cross to capture Bob and Willa. At their home, Willa plays innocently with her dog, unaware of the imminent threat. A helicopter appears overhead, raising tension. That morning, Willa offers her nervous father coffee and asks about his whereabouts the previous night. Bob evades the details. Before Willa leaves for school, Bob gives her a special phone for secure communications. During a school party, Deandra, a member of French 75, finds Willa to evacuate her. Just then, a raid bursts in. Agents interrogate the students, asking for Willa, unaware she's already been evacuated. Simultaneously, Lockjaw's men attack Bob's house, but he escapes through a secret tunnel. At the next meeting point, Bob tries to contact allies but can't remember the access codes, leaving him stranded. Disoriented, he seeks out Sergio. Sergio warns him the whole neighborhood is being raided and shows him how he's evacuating a group of immigrants through hidden tunnels, revealing part of his past with French 75. Meanwhile, at the school, Willa's friends are pressured, and one reveals her number to the military. Deandra hears Willa's phone and, in a moment of frustration, throws it out the window, but it's too late. Lockjaw has located Willa. Bob, with a group of skaters, jumps across rooftops to evade the military but falls and is captured. Sergio receives the alert and grows desperate. Deandra and Willa take refuge in a convent of revolutionary nuns. There, Willa confronts the painful truth about her mother's betrayal. The Mother Superior asks if she knows how to cook, explaining they only take in self-sufficient individuals. Willa collapses on her bed, crying inconsolably. Deandra speaks with the Mother Superior, explaining that Willa had idealized her mother without knowing the dangers of her legacy. The next day, in the suburbs, the Christmas adventurers meet in secret. They've discovered evidence of Lockjaw's relationship with Perfidia and decide to take drastic action, hiring hitman Tim Smith to eliminate Lockjaw and Willa. Meanwhile, at the convent, Willa continues intensive training. Deandra finally reveals the full truth about Perfidia. She wasn't just a revolutionary, but sacrificed her freedom to protect Willa. The revelation leaves Willa reeling. Meanwhile, Bob escapes from police custody with the help of nurses. Sergio waits in a car, and Bob asks to be taken to the convent. Meanwhile, Lockjaw tracks Willa to the convent and raids it. Soldiers capture Willa and detain the nuns. Lockjaw faces Willa and forces her to take a DNA test to confirm if he is her biological father. The results confirm the worst. Lockjaw is indeed Willa's father, cementing a disturbing bond. On the road to the desert, police chase Bob and Sergio. Bob takes Sergio's rifle, jumps from the vehicle, and steals another car to head to the convent. He arrives and tries to rescue Willa, but Lockjaw catches her and forces her into his car. Bob aims the rifle but misses. Lockjaw takes Willa to the desert and meets Avantiku, a ruthless bounty hunter, to transfer her to a group of mercenaries planning to kill her. As Bob desperately searches, the military arrests Deandra and Sergio, isolating him further. He finally locates Lockjaw's car, but Willa is no longer in it. Tim, following the club's orders, finds Lockjaw in the desert and opens fire, hitting the vehicle. Lockjaw emerges severely wounded. Bob takes the colonel's car and continues his pursuit. Meanwhile, Avantiku delivers Willa to the mercenaries, but, overcome with remorse, turns on them. He frees Willa and shoots the group's leader. In the firefight, Avantiku is killed, sacrificing his life so Willa can escape. Now alone but determined, Willa takes Avantiku's car and gun. She's pursued by Tim but uses a blind curve to stop and hide, causing Tim to crash. When Tim stumbles out, Willa confronts him and in self-defense kills him. Willa reunites with Bob in tears and embraces. They flee together, leaving the chaos behind. In the distance, Lockjaw, gravely wounded, staggers down the road as his plans crumble. Later, he is received by the Christmas Adventurers Club. When questioned about Perfidia, he spins a tale of abuse and manipulation. However, in private, his allies betray him, asphyxiating him with gas and incinerating his body. Back home, Bob reunites with Willa and reveals the whole truth about Perfidia, her past and the life he led to protect her. He gives her a letter from her mother, in which Perfidia apologizes for her betrayal and expresses hope to reconnect one day. Willa reads it through tears and hugs her father, acknowledging their shared sacrifices. Later, Bob buys a new phone, a symbol of overcoming his fear. Willa receives a call inviting her to a protest in Oakland. Bob, now confident, gives her his blessing. No longer consumed by anxiety, he trusts that Willa will choose her own path independent, brave and aware of the legacy she carries. Father and daughter move forward together into an uncertain but hopeful future, certain they have survived, learned, and finally found peace. Thus concludes this intense story of audacity, betrayal, and survival, where every decision has consequences and the fight to protect loved ones intertwines with passion for a cause.